Hi, good afternoon. This is Meredith Lego, and welcome to my channel, which is on Ascension Science and the expansion of consciousness. And today I'm going to actually share a message that I received from a collective consciousness of guides I work with. And this has to do with the idea of really cherishing those in your world around you. I think when we come into form and when we, incarnate into, this physical plane that we're in, and especially into Earth, it very much is about learning to master the mental and the emotional bodies, but also to do that through the relationships that we have. I mean, that it is really through the relationships that we are engaging those, especially those emotional bodies. So it can be through by doing things, but oftentimes it can be by engaging in others. This message also was given to me at a time that I was essentially receiving a message about how to deal with the passing of my pet that actually happened this week. And so in some ways, the two messages were somewhat connected together. And I did offer last week a message on how to, how to deal with the passing of a pet, because that was obviously very in the moment in terms of healing that I needed to learn about. So I'm just going to kind of read the passage and then offer my perspective on it. The true essence of time is marked as the soul's journey in a physical manifestation. The embodied vehicle, or basically the body, is sparked with the essence of life. That spark of light and love always exists and can burn bright. If a veil shrouds that spark, the spark always remains burning as a seed or a pilot flame to ignite into a flaming fire when passions are ignited. As much as the pilot and spark is eternal, right now in the physical density, the limiting beliefs of body ailments, sickness, and disease still exist. As a result, even if the spirit can carry on, the physical vehicle may not. But know that the choice to exit the body is that of the soul as an opportunity to teach or as an opportunity to learn or to teach others. So honor that decision and that path. Your heart may not understand or accept all the reasons, but at one point, that understanding will be brought into your conscious awareness. So cherish the relationships you have. Bring light to others when you can. Bring compassion, forgiveness, healing, and your passionate gifts. Those are the best ways you can serve. Observe the light and passion in others. Honor that which brings and honor what others bring, and speak in their truth as their experience without judgment. Understand that if darkness abounds in their action or words, their hearts are wounded and are in need of a healing hand. So that was basically the message that I received after basically receiving the message about pets and what happens with passing. So I think basically the first sentence I think was just another reminder of the definition of time that I remember receiving quite a while ago, which was that time really is the soul's journey. So again, time is marked as the soul journey in a physical manifestation. So it's my understanding that if you're not sort of in a physical vehicle, there really is no time. So that makes sense. And then essentially, they're saying that it's that sort of soul creates that spark of life within the physical vehicle. And it may be sort of, you know, it can burn bright, certainly, with light and love, but it can also be shrouded or veiled, if you will. If there's not that understanding of light and love, there could be sort of a lot of woundedness, if you will, that can create darkness in the individual that could be shrouding that light. But it always exists as a pilot flame or seed that can always be sort of re-sparked or reanimated, if you will. So it's almost like you can reawaken or reanimate the soul within at any particular time, because that spark always exists within. Um, and I think this is probably where then it connects to the experience that I had of my pet passing, is that right now in our physical density or dimension, we still, as a consciousness, hold on to the limiting beliefs that the bodies have ailment and sickness and disease. And, there's a ton of videos that I've done in the past on how to heal, because oftentimes we can be creating our own diseases through the tones that we emit from our bodies, through the frequencies that we emit from our bodies, due to our emotional and mental um, uh, beliefs, and they sort of limit our understanding of what we can do to actually create a very healthy physical body. So sometimes some of the diseases like cancers or like tumors actually can come from our own frequencies that we emanate, not just from the foods that we eat, but actually emotional traumas that we create. So we're kind of like a radio, and we can choose what music we want to essentially be producing through our bodies, if you will. Um, and so, in doing that, we essentially can create our egos, if you will, can create our own diseases, our own sicknesses. So that still exists. But obviously, then they go on to say that, sometimes the soul will choose to exit the body. And I think I've covered in past videos the idea of making exit points before coming into incarnation, and actually planning those exit points. So as hard as it can be to accept, and I had created that video, and then my pet got sick, and I knew that unfortunately that was an exit point that had been planned, and it was very hard for me to accept at the time, and I had a year to sort of process it. But and I didn't want to even accept it when it was happening this particular week. But obviously that occurred as an opportunity for soul growth and expansion, either as him sort of teaching me and others in my world and my family a certain lesson, and/or learning something for himself through that experience. So obviously they're like, honor that decision and that path. You may not understand all the reasons right now, but at some point in your path, in your journey, and it could be in sort of this physical manifestation, or maybe even after I pass, that understanding will become clear. So there's some obviously lesson there that both me and my family, needed to experience. I think that this was really key, and a huge insight that I got through this experience was, cherishing the relationships that you have. We can do lots of things every day with our thoughts, with our words, and with our actions. We can play the music through our bodies that is harmony and love and peace and unity, or we can play other music as well. We have that choice every single day. And going back to almost the first two videos that I actually ever posted, whatever we sort of put out will be mirrored back to us, if you will. So, I think that's always important to keep in mind. And it's really easy for me to forget that too in the throes of day-to-day life. But there is just another reminder to kind of bring that compassion, that forgiveness, remember to bring those gifts that you bring, because that's the best way you can serve others and serve those you elected to come into incarnation with and help to teach and to learn from. But also, just as equally, cherish and observe that light in others, and that love in others, and whatever passions that they bring. And it could be that you may not resonate with those passions. We see people who don't agree with each other all the time. We don't agree with what they have to say, their belief systems, or whatever. But just remember that at the true root, at the true essence, they are love and they are light. That is the spark. That is the pilot. And that's the thing to hold on to and cherish without judgment, as much as it can be difficult when we live in a world that is constantly working to separate and divide us. And, as part of that, we may experience or even find ourselves, in darkness, where, we have actions or words, or we're watching others in the world with actions and words that are more shrouded in darkness or in fear or in grief or in hate. And just to remember that the hearts of those individuals are wounded. There's something inside of them at core which really needs some healing. And excuse me, the way that it's coming out through their ego personality can be in the form of attack or some sort of a self-defense that's being pulled up. I think that's common, that, usually the bully is somebody who's really wounded. So I think that this was, an interesting message to be receiving on the day of, or kind of the day after my pet's passing. But, I thought it was important because it was a reminder to me about the importance of just cherishing all life. So with that, hopefully you benefited from this in some way. And if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And then, please share it with others who you think might benefit. And with that, I will see you in future videos. Thanks. Bye.